Hello everybody, I'm Krasi Attasio and this is my week for the 12 ascendants. I will make an overview on how the sky will influence the 12 ascendants. This is a brief overview because everyone's chart is unique. I will start with Aries, but before that, just to explain you what is in general happening on the sky and what to expect. Now, interestingly, today, I think on Tuesday, 23rd of July, Venus is leaving Sidereal Gemini to enter Cancer, where she's already invisible, and I have separate video on the invisibility Venus, and where she will meet the other two invisible planets and the Sun. So Venus will enter Cancer to meet Mercury, Mars, and the Sun. So we will be having 4 planets in Cancer. Venus will be peregrine there, which would say that she doesn't have any specific dignities, not at all. The Sun is also not very fruitful, so to say, in Cancer. Mercury is peregrine there. Mars is fallen. So we have 3 invisible planets this week, all in Cancer, and all not very much at home. The only point that they have in common is that they are invisible, and with this they're joining with like with their father, which is the Sun, because the Sun is the father of the solar system symbolically. So in this sense, all what is happening in Cancer is brilliant for, in terms of spirituality. We may reach very interesting spiritual achievements, awareness, other level of consciousness, but it's enough to talk about consciousness, like everyone is doing this. To be more specific, I expect that this is not the most benefic placement of all 4 invisible planets, and this will have crucial influence on the markets, the economy, money, because Venus isn't happy, they're invisible, Mercury invisible and retrograde, Mars fallen. All important planets for the economy are hidden in Cancer. This is certainly not good for the agriculture, and I can tell you that we experience this. We have huge garden with fruit and vegetables. We never had such a bad year, I will tell you, without any reason. Just it doesn't work this year. We never remember such a bad year, and I hear this from many people. Already months ago I said that this particular placement, eclipse, is happening on this particular axis, Gemini, including Saturn, and all these details that I gave in other videos will certainly influence the agriculture and the weather, and we are witnessing this already. But you can see in my previous videos, I think already in December I was talking about this, especially about the agriculture. Now this is continuing also this week and the next, because these 3 planets will stay in Cancer. From point of view of spirituality, indeed, this is brilliant, but it is not very beneficial when it comes to finances. Therefore, this week is not good for new beginnings. It is not good for important new initiatives, and in terms of finances, all of us, it's like we will need to do additional efforts. Now, also what is very important to say about this particular conjunction which is happening in Cancer, you know, of course we know Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moons, we had the moon in the beginning of the week is interestingly placed in Pisces in very spiritual degree. So yes, everything is pointing towards spirituality, and maybe through some challenges that we will face in our routine life, we will of course increase our level of spirituality and consciousness. In terms of health, of course, this week is not very appropriate with all these invisible planets, especially in Cancer. The week may not be very appropriate for important surgical interventions. Of course, I have another video day by day where I'm giving the dates which are appropriate or not for this. So then I will continue, of course, with my analysis and ascendant per ascendant. If you like to study astrology with me, by the way, there will be a link under this video on my astrology school, and also if you like to visit my website is also under, so that you know more on how exactly to analyze the particular placements on the sky. Now, Aries, I'm starting with the 12 ascendants. Before that, also to tell you that I will be doing analysis day by day, because this seems to be appropriate and useful. Now, I'm starting with Aries. Your ascendant ruler is in Cancer, and also invisible, and this can make you, I'm talking about ascendant Aries, this can make you a little bit impulsive, can make you also interested in spiritual deep knowledge, can make you very empathic, desiring to be at home or to give attention to home, to your mother. Oh, this is very beautiful. Especially interesting will be and useful the week for you in terms of knowledge, because Mars is together with Mercury and Venus, as I mentioned. They're all retrograde, but doesn't matter. In terms of knowledge, in terms of spirituality, they are wonderful. It's like your home will be emphasized this week. Also, like empathy, you may desire to do some empathic actions to help others. This is very, very, very interesting and wonderful. Now, in terms of travel, the week may not be the most appropriate for this, but it's also not dangerous. However, do additional research and analyze every single detail before desiring to travel. Now, in terms of career, you may have some tension and not very harmonious environment at work with your superiors. This is very possible. Your relationship, this is the area where you also may need to be patient and loving, and everything will be okay. In terms of health, I think that the week looks normal, okay for you. New initiatives, most probably, this is not the most appropriate week, not only for you actually, but in general. All right, let's see now. Taurus. Okay, now your ascendant ruler, Venus, is entering Cancer, where she will meet Mars and Mercury and the Sun. And in Cancer, Venus has very interesting, I would say, romantic, spiritual, empathic, deep function, because Venus in Cancer is peregrine, which would say that she doesn't have any particular dignities. In Cancer and invisible, she's also very deep. She's searching for love. She has very interesting function, very, very, very deep and very, very spiritual. This is concerning your third house of travel, of communication, of knowledge. And I see this week mostly appropriate for knowledge, for sharing knowledge, like any activity that you will do in relation to receiving knowledge, enriching your information, studies, knowledge will bring very good results. This is because of all these planets on your third house. It may become a little bit not complex exactly, but intense in relation to siblings, for example. And that is where you may need to be patient. In terms of money, could be that you need to do additional efforts in order to sustain your finances. Your relationship looks okay to me, but also there you may need to be patient. In terms of health, the week is fine. In terms of career, I don't see any specific challenges, but also not specific growth. So this is the most important for the week for Ascendant Taurus. Now let's see Gemini. Now for you, of course, we know for quite some time your relationship, also your own personality, you are influenced by Saturn and his limitations and his knowledge and wisdom. Oh, this is from your seventh house, which is aspecting your ascendant. The week will be interesting in terms of money. You may have interesting like opportunities, can become a little bit intense when it comes to money, a bit hostile, too emotional, like too much. But on the other hand, it is so that you may need additional structure. You may need to do additional efforts in order to sustain your finances. In terms of subordinates and work, the week looks okay to me. But don't forget that you had these last two eclipses happening on your ascendant-descendant axis, and therefore I do not advise new initiatives yet for you. In terms of health, be responsible for your health, maintain healthy lifestyle, and when it comes to your private personal relationship, that is where you need also to be loving and patient. Cancer. Now, the most interesting things this week are happening on your ascendant for you, because you're having Venus, Mercury, Mars, and the Sun, three invisible planets happening on your ascendant. This is very intense, and how exactly this will manifest for you depends very much on your personal horoscope. But just generally speaking, this can be very spiritual, very emotional, can make you impulsive, emotional, can be so that you would go through melancholic, deep emotions, for example, or that you experience everything that is happening around yourself on a very deep level and in a very intense way. Could be also so that you experience different spiritual, occultistic, esoteric events, like things can happen that usually do not happen usually to you. You may feel very empathic. It is good this week to be responsible for your health. You are not in danger, but because of this complex conjunction of three very interesting but invisible planets on the ascendant, still it's good that you maintain healthy lifestyle, and all points also towards interesting knowledge, that the more efforts you give into spirituality and knowledge and studies, you will be rewarded for sure. Career-wise, I don't see any trouble, but still, even if you have the impetus or desire for new projects or impulses, the week may not be very, very appropriate. Responsibility for the health, I told you. Study-wise, spirituality-wise, the week will be very, very interesting. You may travel, negotiate, you may not, as you may feel that you will be a bit too impatient or impulsive, or could be the behavior that you will meet from the other side. Therefore, if you need to travel or if you need to negotiate, like, do very good preparation work. New initiatives, no. Let's see, Leo. Yes, for you, all these interesting planets are meeting on your 12th house, very esoteric, very interesting. Can bring you interesting dreams, can bring you interesting interest towards secret sciences, esoterics, some envious enemies as well can be awakened during this week. This is what you may be experiencing as well. Financially wise, the week may not be very, very fruitful. Could be that you will need to work a lot, or be very patient, or be very well organized, structured when it comes to making money. Home, you may have peace at home. This will be the place where you will find your comfort and peace. This will be at home. Be, like I say it all the time, while Saturn and Pluto and Ketu are on your 5th house, I keep repeating, be extremely careful when it comes to children. Be very attentive. Like, if usually you are attentive, be double that. So because, yes, it's good to be on the safe side, and that is why I'm saying this. Otherwise, Saturn on the 5th house can give you a lot of interesting, wonderful, new, creative, ancient, esoteric knowledge. Health-wise, you may feel that this is not the most energetic week. It's like you may lack a little bit of energy or motivation. This is also possible. But if you give attention to esoterics, studies, empathy, the week will be good and you will be rewarded. But the week is not great when it comes to finances, but actually it's hard to say for who the week will be good because of this complex combination which is happening on the sky. And let's see Virgo ascendant. For you, all this, I'm looking this week mainly at this interesting conjunction of planets on in Cancer, sidereal Cancer, and this is Mercury, Venus, Mars, 3 invisible planets, and the Sun on your 11th house. Interesting for your gains, for your friendships, that will be intense, but it could be that you don't really reach the exact financial outcome that you may desire to achieve. You may have some hostilities at work, which may result in disharmony at home. Keep in mind so that you avoid this. You may travel. When it comes to negotiations, be careful because still your ascendant ruler is invisible. It is with Mars. Creative work. The week is wonderful for studies, for creative work, for spiritual work. You will be rewarded when it comes to this. Financially, I told you the week is not bad, but you may not achieve the most wonderful result because the planets are not so helpful, but you will have a lot of work, need to be intense. This is how it looks like. Health-wise, the week looks okay, but still be responsible for your health. All right, Libra rising. Now for you, this interesting thing is happening on your 10th house. Career-wise, to be very intense, rich with events, a lot will happen. May not result in like you may not obtain big results because such is the sky, but still a lot may happen. I don't advise this week for you for travel and communication and negotiation. This is not the most appropriate week, but still financially the week doesn't look bad, but also you may not achieve really the most desired financial results, at least without efforts, discipline, and good structure. So if you structure very good your work, you have very good chance, but still the sky is not so easy when it comes to finances this week, almost for no one, to tell you. So travel-wise, be careful. Communication-wise, also, it could be that you are too impulsive or the others don't understand you properly. Of course, these details depend on your personal chart, but still be cautious, very intuitive. Health-wise, I don't see troubles for you this week. So let's see Scorpio. Now for you, of course, it's very interesting because your ascendant ruler now, Mars, is on your 9th house, which is wonderful, but invisible with Venus, with Mercury. This is interesting, can bring you some contacts from abroad, spiritual knowledge, like desire to study or repeat studies, or desire to complete interesting studies or education from the past that you couldn't complete otherwise, for example. But if it would come to travel or to work with people abroad, double, triple check every single detail, because still, even though it's on your 9th house and all these planets are making harmonious aspect to your ascendant, I would still say be cautious and use your powerful intuition. Jupiter on your ascendant is saving you with true blessing. You're lucky to have Jupiter on your ascendant, because whatever hardship comes into your life while Jupiter is on your ascendant, you are protected. In terms of money, additional efforts may be desired when it comes to money. Your home is okay. your work is not suffering this week, so I think the week is okay for you. The only thing is that you may need to do additional efforts when it comes to finances. When you desire to negotiate, also be extra intuitive and cautious and very well prepared. Health-wise, the week looks fine to me. Sagittarius Ascendant. Now for you, Venus left already your ascendant, so she's not denoting this great support that you had for the last 1 month. She's now on your 8th house with the Sun, with Mars. Saturn is on your ascendant. You had eclipses on your ascendant. Therefore, you need to be a bit patient. Even if you desire to do new initiatives, it is good that you be a little bit patient, like to wait until this period passes. Now, Jupiter, excuse me, your ascendant ruler, will bring you, like it is already happening for quite some time, this knowledge or spiritual awareness, or re-evaluating or rechecking your belief systems and everything, and spirituality. Oh, this is happening for quite some time already for you. Could be that you have a little bit of lack of energy or health disharmonies. Just maintain a very healthy lifestyle. See more often the nature, welcome the sun, and you will pass. I know I'm repeating myself, but there is not so much else to say, since the slow planets are on your ascendant, the eclipses happen on your ascendant, but still knowledge is power. And when you know what is happening, when you know that the key is to connect to the spirit world, when you know that the key is to be a lot between the nature and to receive the support from the universe and the nature, then you know that this period is just a temporary complication maybe, or just delay. So be responsible for your health, connect with the nature, be patient, be structured, and you will see that this will pass quite soon already. It's almost, the end is almost there, because in January 2020, Saturn will move away, will come on your 2nd house in his own place in Capricorn, and you will be relieved, not only relieved, but you also receive gifts from this not easy, limiting aspect of Saturn on your ascendant. So the good time is to come. Just be patient a little bit more. All right, Capricorn ascendant. Now for you, interestingly, this interesting, complex, rich, maybe conjunction of 3 planets, Venus, Mars, Mercury, the Sun even, on your descendant in Cancer is happening and makes opposition to your ascendant. This is interesting, can enrich very much your personal life, your relationship, can make everything happening there very intense, very emotional, bring depth to your relationship, create opportunities to solve matters and issues in your private life that otherwise you couldn't solve before. However, keep in mind that these planets are invisible. They can have surprising natures. They can also be really very, very emotional, have a lot of depth. So when you have this knowledge, you will know how to negotiate, how to communicate, how to operate when it comes to partnerships, either being romantic partner or even business partner. So when you're very intuitive, when you're very spiritual, when you're very well prepared, you'll be able also to communicate properly, and so that you really achieve good results. Your ascendant ruler, still of course Saturn, powerful in a fast called cosmic setting, very, very powerful on your 12th house. Can be a little bit limiting when it comes to energy, can make you a little bit melancholic, but now these planets come on your 7th house, will be a bit intense. So you get out for a while from this melancholic state or state of lack of energy. I'm sure that energetically this week and also the next week you will feel much, much better. In terms of finances, the week doesn't look bad, but also not wonderful, because it can't look wonderful when the most important planets associated with finances are invisible. But still, the routine money making looks fine to me. Health-wise, as usual, still your ascendant ruler powerful on your 12th house, so be responsible, see the nature more often. Let's see Aquarius rising. For you, the mainly enriched house this week is your 6th house. A lot will happen in your routine life with your subordinates at work. That is where a lot will happen, like there will be movement. How exactly this will manifest depends very much on your chart and how all these planets separately are placed. I'm talking about invisible Mars, invisible Mercury in retrograde, and invisible Venus and the Sun, all in Cancer in your 6th house, associated with your routine life, with your routine work. So some conflicts are possible, but also the environment may be a bit intense and complex to a degree that it can be difficult to describe. That's why I'm telling you that it is a bit difficult to exactly describe what to expect, because it will be very much depending on your personal horoscope. Now, in terms of finances, you may be a little bit limited, but career-wise, in terms of communication with superiors, the week looks okay to me. Not specifically exceptionally good, but because nothing right now is exceptionally good on the sky, but still looks okay. And when you do the right moral, in terms of universal morality, I mean actions, and when you are receiving support, divine support, because Jupiter on your midheaven is quite good support. So finance-wise, good organization, good discipline will be good, will be very appropriate, and will bring good results. In terms of health, the week looks okay to me, but still that also can become a little bit intense, and you may have some small disharmonies. That's why it's good that you are responsible for your health. In terms of personal life, nothing specifically will happen there, but you may also feel a little bit too emotional, because the Sun, the ruler of your 7th house, is together with all these planets. So be patient and loving when it comes to your private life. So let's see now, Pisces. All right, for you, this interesting and rich conjunction of Venus, Mercury, Mars, the Sun, the 3 invisible planets, and even Mercury retrograde is happening on your 5th house. Yes, this can be emotional when it comes to your love life, very intense, very emotional, not bad, just too emotional. So you need to adopt the right behavior in order to be like, to be able to maintain a good relationship. In terms of children also, your relationship with children can be a bit complex or too intense or too rich. Depends how these planets are placed in your personal chart. Career-wise, there you may have, with, especially when it comes to superiors, there may be a little bit complex in terms of communication, a bit difficult. Finance-wise, the week is not particularly beneficial, but still you're receiving the divine support from Jupiter, who is trining your ascendant. So spirituality-wise, knowledge-wise, the week is wonderful. Travel, you may negotiate, do, but carefully, like with adopting all measures of like intuition, good preparation when it comes to negotiation and communication. Still, as I told you, financially, the week is not brilliant, but still you're very much supported from the aspect of Jupiter. And Venus on your 5th house, even invisible, is not bad at all. It's quite lucky and very intense, interesting configuration happening on your 5th house, which is about luck, children, love. So also all these educational aspects which are not necessarily falling under the what we are given from the matrix, but all these educations that are coming from the creativity, for example, the creative studies which are not necessarily receiving diploma but are very, very interesting, creative and unique. So this can be maintained during this particular week and also the next week. So with this, I'm completing my week for the 12 ascendants. Thank you very much for your attention. Feel free to visit my educational website if you're interested in ancient astrology. Everything is under this video. Thank you.